Hey guys, welcome back to another interesting episode of Done Simply. I'm your host Achyut Nair, and today we will have a fun-backed session with Arundhati Kurup. She's a grad student in the University of Southern California, and this episode is the second installation of Future Stars, where I interview extraordinary individuals who are on the path of very much good success. Let's pretend I was an audience member, and I ask, who are you and what you do?
Hey, Achu, thank you for having me. It's a great opportunity to be talking to you and sharing whatever I can. So, my name is Arundhati. I'm a graduate student at the University of Southern California, Los Angeles, pursuing my master's in computer science. I did my bachelor's from Kerala Technological University in Trivandrum. And yeah, here I am. I'm open to any further questions that you may have.
When did you decide you wanted to pursue CS exactly? You said that you
Oh,
did
okay.
your bachelor's in computer science and you're still focusing on it. When did you decide that this was the correct thing for you and you want to pursue this?
Definitely. I think there were two key points when I reinforced, like, this is what I wanted to pursue. The first would definitely be the time when my family bought the first computer, like the first PC into our house. So, as the only child, I really got a good chance to interact with the new machine that, decided to grace the house. And it was so much fun trying, exploring new things. It was so much fun to learn more about how the machine worked. So that was sort of the first inspiration, I would say, that I had about computers. But the second inspiration came way later when I just finished my high school and was per- before deciding to pursue my engineering. So that was when I accidentally took this book from a library, which was called The Innovators, which is a book about the history of the digital revolution. So this is an amazing book that sort of changed the way I looked at computers and technology in general. So these were two key moments when I realized that this is what I wanted to do.
You said that the innovators, was there, could you talk about one of the, what was this about? I thought I've heard about this where they talk about famous people like Steve Jobs. Did they talk about Ada Lovelace in this?
Yeah, so it is an amazing book, and I would probably, recommend your viewers, listeners to sort of try to get a hands on this book because this book talks about how computers came into existence. From the first programmer, the very first computer programmer was Lord Byron's daughter, which is Lady Ada Lovelace. She was actually assisting Charles Babbage when he was creating the first general purpose computer. So she was actually taking notes for him, and it was in those notes where they discover where she wrote the first algorithm ever to be run by a machine. So from her it tracks down to the development of internet, how people came together, started various things in the world wide web, and it travels again down to the era of smartphones and applications, and where we are right now with artificial intelligence. So this it's an amazing book which basically tracks the whole history of computer science as it is.
Was Ada Lovelace one of your motivators or was
Yeah,
one?
absolutely. I mean, to learn about her, and not only Ada, I would say, like so many people along the way who have actually contributed to making such technologies possible. They were all like, they're all my inspirational figures, but definitely Ada plays a very important role.
Who supported you when you decided to pursue CS?
Absolutely. That's a great question, Achu. I think my family is my greatest source of support. And I would also say my friends and my well wishers and my extended relatives, they were all key in creating a very good support system where I could thrive. And I would also say I was lucky enough to find a good set of mentors and some amazing peers with which who with probably I did hackathons with and sort of did projects with, and mentors in my teaching faculty who helped me to learn about more things and work on good things. So definitely this is a whole like it's a whole set of people, not just like one group. It's a community of people who have definitely helped me. Yeah.
You say mentors. You had a lot of this. Why is it important to have mentors and like have
Absolutely,
connections?
definitely. So I think one thing I really want to say is a support system. A part of it is inherent, right? The family that we are born into and the environment that we grow up in. But I think a part of it is something that you seek out, right? you can always, go and meet amazing people, and always definitely ask them to sort of help you in your own journey. You can just ask them, if you don't know something, don't feel ashamed at all. Just, be happy to ask them how certain things work. So professors, definitely, like other researchers, there have been many mentors along the way who have helped. Yeah.
You said you pursued your undergrad in Kerala,
Hmm.
the Kerala Institute of Technology. Um,
Yeah.
how was that experience, and how did that bring you to where you were right now?
Absolutely. I think that's a really good question. One thing I would say is, the kind of opportunities that we have in the United States, I think it's so much more than you probably. You can't find these many opportunities anywhere else in the world, especially related to technology and particularly related to computer science. So back when I was studying, I didn't have such a good, I couldn't easily access these opportunities, I would say. So it was definitely hard to try and find and do a lot of research to find that these things were out there. So that experience where I had to find things for myself, and the kind of skills I built up over the years to sort of reach out to these opportunities, that definitely helped. And it's helping along the way, even like as a graduate student. So the way, the skills that you build to talk to people, to reach out to people, to network with people, and to find out what is good for you, so these the skills that you build in this process, it definitely helps along the way. So if there is one thing that my undergrad education taught me, it would definitely be these key skills that I picked up.
That's really good, and you learned a lot of stuff from your undergrad. And now we're gonna talk about your postgrad. You're pursuing AI, and for the audience out there who are new to this technology, most likely probably not. Could you explain what AI is to my younger audience?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'll try to make it as simple as I can. So I think when we interact with a machine, normally you have an input, the machine gives you an output, right? So you write some code or you program it to give the output in a desired way. But with artificial intelligence, you write some code so that the machine can learn over time to give us a desired output. So the machine learns from enormous amounts of data. Uh, it observes the data, it analyzes it, and it probably finds some hidden patterns. And then it understands exactly how to give the desired output without any human interference. So this is, it's basically you are imparting intelligence, like just the way we think, into machines, right? So it's a very beautiful domain with enormous potential. So yeah, this is probably how I would define AI for uh, kids your age. Yeah.
You said that it's like imparting intelligence. This is like giving a robot a thing that is not even built. It's just a piece of metal, and you're giving it almost human intelligence. You're giving a mind of its own. You're giving them a personality. Why is this important in this rapidly developing uh,
Definitely. So
age?
I think the problem is, whenever so I think I've heard this quote somewhere, Achyut. It's like a sufficiently advanced technology is almost indistinguishable from magic, right? So you really don't know how certain technologies work. It's almost like it's a miracle. It's like magic happening in front of us. So the more advanced the technologies are getting, I think we can look at it in two ways. One is definitely it is helping us, it's benefiting us. It's sort of like a symbiotic relationship, like we are building it to help us back, right? It goes two ways. It's a mutual understanding. So I think technology should be that way. We build the technologies for us so that it eventually comes to contribute to humanity. But increasingly with fake news and disinformation, and so many other things that's happening, the intention with which these technologies were built, I think it's getting misguided and sort of misaligned. So those are like, especially privacy and the confidentiality of data and things like that. I mean, that's getting a hit, but I'm sure that the original intention, which was to support humanity and augment our work, right, that is not going to go anywhere. So we have to be very sort of careful the way we want technology to progress. Yeah.
You keep mentioning data a lot. Why is AI
Uh-huh.
and big data, are they like connected or like interrelated in a sense?
Yes, I think right now the way things are going, just like humans are things like you know about the Internet of Things, like where each and everything around us, we can attach a sensor to it, and eventually everything is going to be a huge network. So everything is going to emit data out, right? So basically, the kind of data, the volume, the variety, the kind of data that we are seeing today, it's huge. So there are a lot of things that we can learn from this data that's being generated not just by humans but by systems and things and all these sensor networks. So pulling in all these, we can derive a lot of insights by applying certain algorithms and certain data mining techniques, where you can just take out information that would be beneficial for us. So definitely data and intelligence, they go hand in hand.
So with AI intelligence, you can manipulate big data and shape it to what the user wants from it.
Absolutely. Yes. In a way, you can definitely mine information out of data, and that the algorithms that you can use to do that, we can impart intelligence into it.
As most of the audience knows, technology, specifically, actually AI, is a rapidly developing sector. It's almost a minute on minute basis. I mean, the Alexa Echo, for those in my around my age, they knew it as a speaker that was introduced in 2014, just 7 years ago. But in the current day, AI progress is exponential. With an example of an Alexa that can answer opinion based questions and almost developing a personality. In this rapidly developing age, current age and day, how do you stay current and from in this emerging field?
Wow, that is an amazing question. I think the most important way is definitely reading, like just be open to everything like technology news or updates or anything that you can find on blogs or newsletters or magazines, tech magazines, right? So, this is like one huge category of information that you can get about what's going on. And another important way I would say is Twitter, because I use Twitter a lot, where these scientists and researchers who are working on these cutting edge technologies, they tweet about it when they make a breakthrough or when they receive an award for something that they developed. So it is an almost an immediate notification of something huge that's happening. So Twitter is a really good way to sort of get in touch with the current news. And another way would definitely be, I don't know, like as graduate students, we definitely read research papers and all these developments coming out of the research and academia. So that is a way for us to at least be in touch with the current happenings. And apart from all this, like television, magazines, and you can always subscribe to newsletters from universities like MIT and all these other universities, where they almost on a regular basis, they keep all of us updated about what they are working on. So these are some avenues that you can probably pursue to be in touch with your updates, technology updates.
You said a lot. That was a lot of information to pack in. And so you said readings. Would you say that Asimov or Werns or any of these science fiction authors helped you spark an interest or helped you like grasp and or understand something new about something new that you never really like understood or realized about this AI?
Okay, that's a good question again. So I still remember like when I started reading. I'm an avid reader. I read a lot, and when I started reading, I used to read these fiction and these detective novels and those sort of books. But way later, I realized like there is a huge category of books out there under the science fiction genre, and then I was really interested by it, and I started reading especially Jules Verne and Isaac Asimov and all these amazing H.G. Wells and all these authors who wrote about times beyond their present times, right? So it was so interesting to read about their ideas and sort of the world that they're envisioning. I definitely was inspired by their work a lot, especially the science fiction authors. So yes, especially a lot of authors have written very, very much, uh, I would say, before even AI coming into our homes, right? Like we never thought of a world, at least, where a small device would be sitting on a table or in a room where it could answer almost anything. It would know what music we like, and it would teach us what to cook, right? So it's just amazing, the world we're living in right now.
You mentioned while we were talking, you mentioned about hackathon like 5 minutes ago. Um, you mentioned some at hackathons that you participated with your mentors and your friends. What exactly do you enjoy about these hackathons? Oh,
Okay, okay, so
before we even say that, could you explain what a hackathon is
oh
to
yeah,
a person who's not in the CS world?
definitely. So, hackathons are small events that are organized by universities or corporations where people can get together, form a team, and then they can work on an idea over a course of time. So, this time could be anywhere from, say, 10 hours, 24 hours, or even 2 days, like 1 days, 2 days. So what we do is, so there are different types of hackathons. There are theme based hackathons where you have to work on healthcare, or you have to work on a specific domain, something like that. A theme would be there. But there are other hackathons where you have to use a particular technology, right? So there are different types of hackathons, and what I really like about hackathons is the rush. Like, you are racing towards the deadline, and you have this amazing idea, and you want to build it out with your friends, and you would like to get it validated from others, so I really like participating in hackathons, and it's definitely a time to sort of brainstorm and come up with new ideas and build it out in a very small time, right? So, and if at all any of you would be interested, there is this amazing site called DevPost, where they continuously post about all the hackathons that are happening all across the world. So I would definitely advise that you can just go ahead, form a team, and then try it out. It'll be fun.
I'm gonna put the Bablos link in my in the description,
Okay.
and for the people who've actually tried out once or twice with the class competition, any of it, what was your advice for those that group of people who want to improve on this hackathon?
Okay, so one thing I personally do is, I sort of regularly think about what I could build, right? So the kind of skills that I'm building, say if I pick up a new programming language, I would explore the language further to see if it has something. For example, I was recently working with Python, and I wanted to so basically, you have an image, and you want to read it using your if there is a text in the image, you want your camera to be able to point to the image and return the text. So that is called optical character recognition, right? You look at a text in an image, and you tell the camera, I want you to tell me what is written in that image, right? So I actually built a small program using Python, which could do this with any camera. So when I study a new language, or when I study a new technology, I see what it can do, or what are these cool packages, or functions, or other things or tools that I can use to build cool stuff. So I always explore. So definitely keep an eye out for other things, and just if you're studying something, go out of the curriculum and explore other things which can sort of augment what you're studying at school. So exploring is a really good way. And then talk about everything that you learned with your friends. Maybe they could give you ideas, and just brainstorm together and build it up. It'll be fun.
Wow. So let's talk about your future. And you said that you interned for the Snapdragon program in Qualcomm. Could you explain for the people who still don't know what or, this rapidly developing company, or like what this huge technology company known as Qualcomm is and what
Oh,
they do?
definitely. So I was interning with Qualcomm at their headquarters in San Diego, California, with their Snapdragon team. So Qualcomm is a multinational company, which is into semiconductors and wireless communication. So, for example, if you have heard about the chips that power your mobile phones or your laptops, and I'm sure that you've definitely heard about 5G and 4G, the Wi-Fi that you get, right? So Qualcomm is a pioneer in 5G networks, and they are into building chips for mobile phones. So most of the Android devices are powered by a Snapdragon chip. So I was interning with the team that builds the chips, and I was writing code for the chip. So that is what my team did, the Snapdragon team, and this is a little bit about Qualcomm and what they do.
How was your experience working with the certain like these? You said it was a multinational company. How was your experience working with other people, and could you tell us?
Definitely. I mean, you get to learn a lot from your mentor and your manager. They teach you a lot, and you get to work with these cool, newest technologies. And I think learning is the most important because they come back to help you in your growth, both personally and professionally. And there were, intern hackathons and intern programs that they organized so that the interns would get to know each other. And there were also other cultural events where we could exhibit our talents, and it was all in all a really good experience to be working with such a diverse set of people. Definitely.
Also, speaking about internships, I heard that you were offered an internship at Singapore, being the only one in Kerala to be selected for this program.
Definitely. So I was interning at Nanyang Technological University, Singapore, as a computer vision intern. So I'll probably tell you a little bit about computer vision. So it's basically you write code so that computers can learn to perceive their environment. So basically, you're giving a pair of eyes to your computer, right? So I was working with the computer vision group at the university, and it was a really fun experience. And I got to learn a lot about computer vision from my professor and my postdoctoral, researchers. And it was a definitely good experience where I made a lot of friends, and we got a chance to go all around Singapore and understand the culture of the country and try out new food and visit new places. So it was definitely an enriching experience.
You said that the computer vision it was giving. It's essentially about AI. Did this and this happened before your postgrad, if I'm correct?
Definitely. It
So,
happened in my junior year. Yeah.
so what you would say that this influenced your decision to like pursue like you love this is where you like sparked that interest for like AI and you wanted to go more into it.
Yeah, because that's when I got my first hands on experience working with such I would say, a high performing research group. So the kind of work that they did, that sort of, helped me to realize, okay, this field has got enormous potential, and probably this is where I can contribute. So, yeah.
Arundhati Kurup, everyone. And once again, thanks for listening to this episode. This is going to be in audio format and video format for the people who want to see the faces. And remember to stay safe, watch my other videos, and thank you so much, Arundhati.